Good evening, everyone. Let's start today's session. Prathibimba, you can start.
Good evening, ma'am. Am I visible and audible?
Yes,
Is my screen visible, ma'am?
it's visible.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. I am Prathibimba, an internet hack Veda, at UI department, and today I'm here for my presentation on the topic user research, competitive analysis, and information architecture on the stock market application. And first, we go through the user research and design for the user research. Here, user research is very important for the UI design stock market application for today's traders to make it very appealing and to make it very usable. And next we have in that we can see what are the sub points we can see over there. First point is the identifying the target audience. We can identify the audience by demographics, experience level, and specific needs. In demographic, we can see age, gender, location, income, and education level. And in experience, we can see are there novice, intermediate, or they are advanced or expert. And in specific needs, we have to encourage them with their goals, and their time constraints and their risk and management level. And next we have the conducting qualitative research. After knowing the uh, after knowing what are the who are the users and what are the requirements, we need to make a qualitative research on the basis of interviews versus surveys. We can interview them or we can survey them on their budgets or what they are suiting for them. And next we have requirement strategies, in which we have sampling the methods and we can target the audience over here. And the next technique is questioning the techniques, where asking the open-ended and non-leading questions for the traders for getting more preferences and knowing their preferences. And next we have analysis. In analysis, we can identify the patterns, themes, and what are we can analyze through the survey. And next we have gathering the insights. After knowing what are their needs, we have to gather the insights or points on the basis of goals, challenges, and preferred features. And in goals, we can see what are the objectives that traders needs, and we have to keep their high expectation on the top, and so we can keep our goals on. Then challenges, we have to know what are the obstacles we face through the UI design for the traders. And next we have to know what are the preferred features of the traders to make the beautiful and appealing design. And next we have to find out the documents after inciting them. The documents can be in the form of key themes, common pain points, and relevant insights. And next we have to make a user design on the basis of the documentation. The user design should be user friendly, and they should have to provide the personalization and know the knowledge about the resources. And we have to enhance the trading for the experts. And next we have, after all analyzing and documentation, we have to go for building session, where we build the design and we test the design and we refine it by taking the user feedbacks. And next we go for the competitive analysis. In the field of designing or a web applications, we have so many competitions. In the field of market trading application, we have some competitive competitions, which we can see, like the first example we have here is Robinhood. Robinhood is a very strong stock market trading application, which has the user friendly interface and which takes the user feedbacks very easily. And next we have eToro. eToro is also one of the very famous stock market trading application, which has the social trending and wise assets of variety like cryptocurrency and other trade stocks and etc. And it is one of the top rated user application. And next we have TD Ameritrade. TD Ameritrade is very advanced trading technology. It has very advanced trading technology, and it gives education and support, and also it has a very beautiful customer satisfaction in the field of stock market trading application. And after considering all these three, we can see the strength and weaknesses of all three these companies. In Robinhood, the strength is it has the user friendly interface and commission is free for the traders. And the weakness is there are some customer issues in this. And for eToro, we have the social trading and wide asset variety, but the weakness is it has the high withdrawal fee. For TD, and with its strength is It has advanced trading tools and it gives education and support for the traders. And till now, there are no weaknesses for this company. So we can consider 3D is a very famous or very user friendly stock market trading application. And next we have to create a information architecture for the stock market trading application, where we have to consider first researching of the personas. Here we have to know what are the traders. Are they novice? Are they very like experts, or are they like in the middle field? They need more charts and data to know what they want. So we have to collect the information about the traders from the beginning. And next we have to identify the key features of the stock market trading application, like live data feeds, educational resources, advanced trading tools, and social tradings. And next is main important is we have to create the architecture. While creating the architecture, we have to go through wireframings and user flow, and we have to create a UI UX design which gives a very beautiful experience for the users. And next, user testing. And next we have designing for the accessibility, like we have to design as the user access is needed. Like the colors should be appealing for the users, which should be look beautiful so that the user can use it. And the keyboard navigation, the design should support a keyboard navigation for the mobility. And next is alternative text. If some image is not visible in the app or a website, we should have an alternative text so that the user could know what is in that form of images. And next, we have some best practices to create a stock market trading application. They are speed, security, and transparency. Speed is one of the main feature because the user needs a fast work and reliable access. And next is security, where the traders need their personal information and financial information need to be protected. And in transparency, the traders need to know what are the commission or what are the withdrawal fees. Are there any risk in that investment? They need to know everything about. So we should keep the transparency to make the stock market trading application very appealing and useful. And at the end, we could conclude it by the saying of Steve Jobs, which says, "Design is not just what it looks like and feels like, but design is how it works." Design is not only like how it looks or how it feels, it's about how it works. And it should be very appealing and very useful and very easy to use. At the end, we could conclude that by all these principles and architecture, we could create a very speed and securitized usability design, which will help the users or traders to make their stock market trading application usage very easily. If you have any question, and I'm open for it, or else you can mail me at my mail ID. And that's all my time. Thank you. That's it, ma'am. I'm done with my presentation.
Prathibimba, you're done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good presentation. Everything was nicely explained. All right, I will give your feedback on your mail, okay? Manohar, you can start.
A very good evening to everyone. Let me introduce myself. I am Manohar, an intern at Hackveda Private Limited.
Manohar, you have to share your screen.
Yeah, ma'am. Okay. A very good evening to everyone. Let me introduce myself. I am Manohar, an intern at Hackveda company, and today my presentation is on about identifying key components of air quality monitor. Okay. Under the project Embedded System Engineer Internship, and okay, I divided into subtopics like introduction, components, block diagram, sensors, processor, circuit diagram, followed by conclusion and reference. And okay, first of all, air quality monitoring is a systematic procedure of measuring or measuring the levels of air pollutants that are present in the environment. And air quality monitor is a device which plays air quality monitoring and can measure the quality of the air in particular locality. And it consists of sensors, microcontrollers, and etc. like other electronic components too. And some of the examples includes FUBOT. This is indoor air quality monitor, and Sense Air Sunrise CO2 sensor is a CO2 air quality monitor. It measures the concentration of CO2 in the present in the environment. And Honeywell BW Ultra is a photoionization detector. These are some examples only. There are plenty of air quality monitors that we have in our present era. And okay, comes to components of this air quality monitor includes sampling mechanism, sensors, data logger, processor, calibration mechanism, and enclosure. First of all, sampling mechanism is nothing but collecting the air samples for which we have to measure the quality of particular air. And this can be done in many ways, like using a filter or using sorbent tubes or using colliding objects in which we can collect the air samples and by sensor. Sensor in the air monitor. Actual performance is done by the sensors. The air samples from the sampling mechanism goes to the sensors. Sensor through the design, it gets the particular air pollutant that if the air pollutant present in the air sample or not, it can be decided by these sensors. And the output of the sensors is connected to data logger. Data logger is a device which can store the and detected data by sensors can be stored by data logger for further processing of the information. And processor. Processor is like a central processing unit air quality monitor. It plays a vital role in this air quality monitoring, and it can ensure the functionalities of the other systems in the air quality monitor also. Calibration mechanism. Calibration mechanism is nothing but some functionality of the processor, and it can ensure the accuracy and consistency of the other components in the air quality monitor. And followed by enclosure. Enclosure is nothing but a protective shield to prevents the physical damages causes for the air quality monitors and corresponding devices. Next, come to block diagram of air quality monitor. It has sensor on one side, and the sensor's output is given to microcontroller, which is processor in the air quality monitor. In the place of microcontroller, we can use any type of microcontroller like Arduino and like SG8056 and R microcontroller, etc. We can use those microcontrollers too. And output can be measured by LCD display. And data logger, as I discussed earlier, data logger is a device which can store the data. First of all, through sampling mechanism, the air samples goes to the sensors, and these sensors detect particular air pollutants present in the that particular air samples or not. These sensors includes carbon monoxide sensor, particulate sensor, smoke sensor, and based on the design and based on the targeted pollutant, the one air quality monitor can have many type of sensors and can detect any type of air pollutant, and the output of these sensors given to the processor. This processor stores that data, and it can store for further modification and processing of the data. If it is done, this stored data is given to the
Because of network connection, I guess Manohar is not able to present now. We will wait 2 more minutes. If he is facing the same problem, then Indraja, you can start after 5 minutes.
Okay, ma'am.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. Sorry for the inconvenience. And
No problem. Start from where you have left.
okay, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, comes to components of the air quality monitor includes sensors and comes to sensors. And most of the air quality monitors includes some of the common sensors like particulate matter sensors and carbon dioxide sensor and VOC, that means volatile organic compound sensors. Small droplets that are with a small with a small diameter, and particles with diameter in terms of micrometers are referred to as particulate matter, and this can be detected by using these principle. The working principle of these particulate matter sensors includes laser scattering or light scattering. This is the arrangement of the particulate matter sensor and mechanism in which involves in the particulate matter sensor. And the collected air samples goes through these airflow channel through inlet, and a photodiode is present in the middle of the channel, and this can be worked by laser, and laser is a device which can emits light based on the collisions of the electrons, and when light is falls on the photodiode, it becomes active, and therefore it detects the small particles with the 2.5 2.5 diameter, and this detects the particles based on the operation of the microprocessor that we program it on the further on next level, and the detected data can be stored in this photodiode, and remaining 8 samples goes to the other side and goes to environment through this fan. And this is the working principle of the particulate matter. And moreover, particulate matter is of two types. Those are PM 2.5 and PM10. PM10 means the particles with a 10 micrometer of diameter, and PM 2.5 means the particles of 2.5 micrometers as diameter, and these sensors detects that corresponding matter. On the other hand, CO2 sensor. Carbon dioxide is not only dangerous, but it can also causes dizziness and laziness, and it can reduces the productivity by making people lazy. That's why we feel laziness even we work for a little time in workplace. And the principle of these CO2 sensors is an infrared principle. That means CO2 molecules absorbs only particular range of colors in the electromagnetic spectrum. That means in electromagnetic spectrum, these CO2 molecules absorb only infrared source, and by this principle we can design a CO2 sensor. And a glass tube or channel simple chamber is over there, and the air samples goes to this simple chamber through this inlet, and there is an infrared light source, and the CO2 molecules present in the air samples absorb that infrared light source, and therefore the concentration of the infrared light region becomes less as at the emitter side, and the amount of infrared light source is detected on the receiver side by through this IR detector. Therefore, by measuring the difference between the concentration of the infrared source at the emitted side and at the receiver side, we can measure the amount of CO2 molecules present in these particular air samples, and the remaining air in which a CO2 molecules are not present goes to these outlet and to environment. And next, VOC sensor. VOC is nothing but volatile organic compounds. These are the components which are formed by the organic emission of the products like that we use in on daily basis, like detergents, lubricant products, etc. And also humidity sensor. Humidity sensor detects the temperature of the atmosphere, and these VOC sensor can be constructed using these MOSFET principle, that means metal oxide sensors. And when air samples is given to the sensing material, the sensing material which can sense particular volatile organic compounds can absorb that molecules by maintaining maximum resistance. On the other hand, if the air samples does not contain any sensing material of these sensor, then it contains minimum resistance so that the remaining air samples to environment in return. And this is the principle that is used in the VOC sensor. This is about sensors used in the air quality monitor. Comes to processor. As I said earlier, processor is the main source of the air quality monitor. And the processor is like a heart of the air quality monitor, and it can stores the data from which is given by the sensor, and it monitors the functionalities of the other components in the air quality monitor. And processor, we can use any microcontroller as processor. Like we have microcontrollers like 8085 microcontroller, ARM microcontroller. Like simple, we have Arduino, and Arduino is a microcontroller, and many of the air quality monitors consist Arduino because it can be easily programmed and easily accessible. We can use on daily basis. These components, a simple circuit diagram of air quality monitor includes these components. This is Arduino. Like I said, in place of processor, we can use any microcontroller. Here I used Arduino, and this is LDR. LDR is nothing but light dependent. LDR is nothing but a display which can delivers the levels of concentrations of various air pollutants in the air. And this is particulate matter sensor, and these are the some sensors that can detect the corresponding air pollutants present in the air. And this is clock. To make active of the all components, I used to clock in the circuit diagram. And when these components are connected together, it becomes look like this. By using wires, we can connect like this. But this look like a messy, therefore we use board so that there is no messy, and we can operate, and it can be carryable at any places like this. And using printed circuit board, I fabricated all the components on a semiconductor board, and it can be easily movable. That means we can measure the air quality at any locality, and it is a simple air quality monitor that we have in present market. And this is a USB cable. This can be used for charging or making active of the air quality monitor. Comes to conclusion, these air quality monitors provide real-time data and periodic data on air quality, and it can enable authorities and individuals to assess pollution levels, as it gives the concentrations of the various air pollutants in the environment. And it is useful to identify trends and make informed decisions, and they play a crucial role in environmental monitoring, particularly in the present era. There is a much need of these air quality monitor, as we are in the race of placing our country in the list of developed countries. There is, okay, development is there, on the other hand pollution is there, as we are making so many industries and so many new products every day. There is a pollution is everywhere in the world. Therefore we have to aware of these pollution levels, and therefore there is a crucial role of this air quality monitor in the present era. And this is the article that I used to study about these air quality monitors and identify the various components of these air quality monitors. And thank you. And thank you for maintaining such a friendly environment over here. And if you have any doubts, don't hesitate to ask me, and please.
Manohar, you are done?
Yeah, ma'am, I am done.
So it was a great presentation. Everything was nicely explained, nicely researched. So it was
Okay,
great. Okay, you can stop sharing your screen. I will give you feedback on your mail, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Muskan? Muskan,
Yes, ma'am.
you can start.
Good evening, ma'am. My name is Muskan Khare from Web Development domain. Ma'am, my today's topic is for presentation, project timeline. Task was assigned to me was to create project timeline. Uh, these are the contents. Uh, First, what is we will discuss what is project timeline, followed by Gantt chart and how to make it, and demonstration, then conclusion and references. Uh, First of all, what is project timeline? How we can understand what is timeline? Why it is needed for our project? So, project timeline, we can say in easy words, is a schedule. It's kind of a timetable for a project, for a deadline for a project. We can see, uh, we can divide the task into different segments, different into different time into the timelines, and according to that timeline we can do our work, we can achieve that goal, whatever is assigned for that week or that day. Then next, Gantt chart. As you can see in the screen, there is a kind of chart thing is there. This is called Gantt chart. You can see there are tasks are there, the durations are there. So Gantt chart is commonly used for the graphical depiction of the project. We can show our timelines into a graph manner, in a graphical form. So we are using a kind of bar chart for showing that the timelines, for better understanding. For we can also use Gantt chart to show that how much we have worked on our project and how much work is left to do on our project. So Gantt chart is very easy to understand form for a timeline. If we are if we want to see the timelines of the project in these very easily manner, so we can use Gantt chart. Gantt chart is used for the showing the timelines for the project timelines. Now to make Gantt chart, first of all, we have to give data. We have to make a table according to our data. Then we have to make a standard bar chart based on a start date. We have to give a start date, end date. Then we have to calculate the duration of the chart data. As you can see, add duration data to the chart. We have to create a duration, and according to that duration, we can show the timelines into a graph or Gantt chart. Now, demonstration. So, for demonstration, I can show you my ma'am. As you can see, this is my data. I have created a table according to my data. Data was provided to me. These are the tasks, and I have created. I have divided my task in
Muskan,
a.
your data is not visible.
Wait, ma'am. Now it is visible or not?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah. So you can see there is a data. The task was allotted to me that I have to create a Gantt chart using a project timelines. So you can see task. You can see the tasks are here. These are the task names.
Muskan, you're not audible. Muskan, am I audible to you?
Hello.
Yeah, you're audible now.
Hello.
Yeah, you're audible now. Actually, your voice was not coming. So that's
Ma'am, now is it audible?
yeah, it's audible.
So you can see, I have divided my task into 2 months, month one, month two, and then in weeks, week one, week two, week three, week four, and then I have one start date and end date. On 1st of November, the task to me is a introduction to React.js, and the deadline is 4th of November. So using these data, I have created one Gantt chart. And we can see these are the months and the weeks which is divided, and in this you can see the dates starting from 1st of November to 31st of December. I have my deadlines. I have time to create to complete my project. So in week one, you can see using these bar from 1st of November to 4th of November. This is you can see the duration value is 3, means I 3 days time is allotted for task 1 in week 1 to complete these first task. So which is the introduction to React.js. Then followed by week 2, you can see there are a bar which is showing the value is 3, means 3 days is 3 days are allotted to my task 2. Then yeah, every bar we can see the value is 2, means the 2 days time, the duration is 2 days to complete these tasks is allotted. So these are my tasks. You can see the durations from 1st of November to 4th of November. The duration is 3 days. 3 days are given to me to complete the following task. So in Gantt chart we can easily see the using the bar. We can easily understand the durations and the in which week we have to what we have to do, what are the timelines in these we can see. Now someone I will come to my PPT. One second. So so this was my document demonstration. Then conclusion is first of all, I have already told you that why project timelines is important and why Gantt chart is important. So first of all, it is very useful for if we are working on a project management. So it is very essential thing for us to know about Gantt charts and project timelines, how to create project timelines and how to create project Gantt charts. So Gantt charts are very useful for planning and scheduling project. We can schedule a project. We can divide our tasks into different timelines to make it easy. Then second, we can see then how much time we have allotted for a following task. What if we want to add there the task progress, we can also add there a section task progress, so we can see how much task we have already completed, how much is left. Then also we can see they are also useful for the managing dependencies between tasks. Then ma'am, these are my references. I have used YouTube and Microsoft official websites for understanding what is Gantt chart and how I can create this. And okay, ma'am, this is my presentation. If you have any question, you can ask. Thank you, ma'am. This is my mail ID.
You're done.
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, it was thoroughly researched. Nice work. Okay, I will give your feedback on your mail. You can stop sharing now.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
INDRAJA, you can start.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Is my screen visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. My project is about stock screener application using Python. And the task for the presentation is plotting trend lines on HDFC Bank CSV dataset. And here are the contents we are going to discuss in the presentation. Plotting trend lines on HDFC Bank CSV data. Let us know about what is trend line. Trend lines are like guides of financial analysis, helping us to understand the direction of momentum of stocks price over a certain period of time. And we are drawn the trends on a price chart to visually represents the general direction of the stock's movement. We generally use trend lines to know about the stock price. And there are two different types of trends. They are uptrend and downtrend, where uptrend refers to the rising of stock price and downtrend refers to falling of stock price. And here is the importance of trend lines in stock analysis. And they are identifying support and resistance levels and determining the slope and angle of the trend line, utilizing trend line breaks for entry and exit points, and making informed trading decisions. This is importance about trend lines. Here, support lines level and reference levels are it shows where stock it shows where we need it and where we need not buy. This is about support and resistance levels. And coming to our presentation, we need to retrieve the HDFC Bank CSV dataset using Python and plot the trend lines. For retrieving the data, we need to access the dataset and we need to download the dataset. And for the loading the data in Python, we need to import pandas to read the dataset and data exploration, where we need to explore about the data and see what's there in it. And here is the sample data of HDFC Bank CSV data. Here you can see the date, open price, high, low, close, volume. This represents the stock. Here open represents the opening price of the stock and high represents the high price of the stock. And similarly low and close represents the price of the stock. Pre-processing of data. Pre-processing of data refers to the steps taken to clean, transform, and organize raw data into format suitable for analysis or modeling. We will have, if there are any missing values in the data, we can process the data in Python by using fill any method. And we need to convert data types and clean and validate. Here are the steps to plot trend line. And for data visualization in Python, we use matplot libraries to create visualizations and define trend line functions for the HDFC Bank dataset and plot the dataset. And I will show you the Python code where I have plot the trend lines. Firstly, I have imported the libraries which are needed. Those are pandas and matplot libraries. And data is equals to pd.read CSV file. Here we can by this method we can access to the data and we can see the data. And plot the trend lines. Here are the trend lines. It represents the close price of the stock. You can see it here. And here we identify the up down trends and plotted graph. Here you can see that yellow indicates the downtrend average and blue indicates uptrend average. And here is the complete plot, HDFC Bank stock price with trend lines. Here at the left side, we can see the close price of the stock and date, the date, in the value up where the price is there. And here are the references where I have gone through for the demonstration. And if you have any doubts, you can ask or mail me at indrajakuru@gmail.com. Thank you.
Indiraji, you're done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good presentation. Okay, I will give your feedback
Thank you,
by
ma'am.
mail. You can stop sharing your screen.
Ma'am, I have one more presentation scheduled today, ma'am.
How is it possible?
Can I continue with that?
No, is this a presentation that you have already given? When was it scheduled?
No, ma'am. It has scheduled automatically, ma'am. I will show the
No,
mail. I did not.
I'm asking the presentation that you have given, when was it scheduled? Is it for today or it was earlier?
Yes, it is for today, ma'am.
This presentation that you have given, this one you are saying this is for today.
There is another one scheduled, ma'am.
नो इंद्राजा, I'm asking जो आपने अभी प्रेजेंटेशन दी है ये आज के लिए ही है या फिर पहले वाली है जो अभी आपने दी है?
I didn't get you, ma'am.
The presentation that you have already given, the stock screener application using Python, you have delivered this presentation. So is this
Yes, ma'am.
presentation was scheduled for today or it was earlier?
Ma'am, it was scheduled for 21st November, ma'am, today itself.
And the presentation that you are saying that you have want to give today is that presentation is also scheduled for today only.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, you can start sharing your screen for the next presentation. But it's not the right thing to do to give two presentations on the same day. So if the presentation is scheduled for the previous time, please give on the same date that is it is scheduled for. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I did not schedule it, ma'am. It was automatically given to me. The mail came to me that the presentation is today.
All right. You can start sharing.
And the presentation is overview of the project. And the project is about Cashify website. Cashify is a website that allows users to sell their old electronics such as smartphone, laptop, and tablets. The website has user-friendly interface that makes it easy for users to navigate through its various sections. Here is a quick guide. I will show you that. This is Cashify website. Here we can buy and sell our old electronics. And the interface is very user friendly. And it has many features. If you want a cell phone, it asks us to choose a brand, which brand it is, and the series. And here we can get the value of to what price we can sell our mobile. And this is and similarly we can buy others old phones or any electronic gadgets from this website. And we have many more options in the website. And coming to the Cashify features and functionalities, the interface is user friendly and the secure payment. It has secure payment processing and easy navigation for seamless browsing and experience. And we have advanced search functionality to help users to find products they need quickly and easily. Technology stack selection demonstration. And for the project, we need to select a good stack. That is selecting the right stack technology stack technology is a crucial step in website development. The technology stack comprises of programming languages, framework, libraries, and databases that are used to build a website. A well, and we all know that a chosen technology stack can ensure the website is scalable, secure, and easy to maintain. And here is the project development environment, and we use Python for the development of this Cashify website, and we need to install Python and a web framework. We use Django framework for this, and database management SQL. For storing and retrieval of data, we use MySQL. And if and about a framework is like a set of tools and that help people build things more quickly and easily. Here is the project overview. The project overview, the goal is we need to create a user-friendly solution that addresses the needs of our target audience, and objective is to improve efficiency and enhance the user's experience. And key project highlights are seamless data integration and scalability. Flexibility are the highlights of the project. Scalability refers to increase the efficiency and usability of the API. And flexibility, here flexibility means it allows easy customization and adaptability to meet unique business. And the next stage of this project is planning, deployment, and development are the next steps of the project. If you have any notes, thank you.
You're done?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. When you're giving a presentation, make it on a full screen.
Okay, ma'am.
All right. I will give you feedback on your mail. You can stop sharing.
Ma'am, I have another doubt, ma'am, that I have given a presentation on overview of the project before, ma'am, on November 2nd. The status was not updated till now.
Have you got the marks for that?
No, ma'am, I did not get.
2nd November. The title was?
Yes, ma'am. Overview of the project.
Okay, I will check in the database and then I will tell you in the next meeting, okay?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, you can stop sharing your screen. Palak? You can
Yes,
start.
ma'am.
You can start.
Is my screen visible to you?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I'm PALAK and today I'm here to give a presentation on the task name Project Timeline. And I'm from Java Programming Group. The table of content of my presentation include introduction, then objectives, importance, project timeline, Gantt chart, demonstration, then documentation, and then conclusion, final references. So before starting with my presentation, I would like to share my experience. What I learned about the project timeline. So in my 4th semester of my college, we were assigned group projects. And not knowing much about group projects or even projects in a tech world, we were completely unaware how to do and how to start about it. So we thought without wasting much time, let's jump into the project implementation. We did the same, but not much time was done that we ran into problem and we were unable to understand which task to be done first, which to be done next, what resources are required for completion of this project. So we had to get an aid. So we approached our teacher. So our teacher told us about project timeline. There we understood something known as project timeline is used to make a successful project. We studied about project timeline, we made a project timeline of a project, and then not after much time, we were able to do things correctly, and our project became a success. So today I'm going to tell you about what is a project timeline, and I will also give a live implementation about it, and I will also give you a visual representation of it in the form of Gantt chart. So let's deep dive into this presentation. So when we hear the word timeline, it is made up of two words, time and a line. Time basically tells the duration, and line, if a layman is to be considered, he will tell line is a connection or a sequence of dots. So if we talk about timeline here in project, so timeline is the visual representation of chronological sequence of events. Timeline is not only used in project management, it is also used in history. It is used in project management, no doubt, but it is also used in history for seeing the sequence of the things, the duration for which it happened. And also, even in our day-to-day life, we use timeline for planning our personal space, or for planning even our trips. We use timeline, how much time has to be spent on this particular spot, what we'll do next about when we visit here, what next to be done. So we use a timeline not only in project management, but also in history, in various fields like of studies, and also in our personal day-to-day life. So when we talk about project timeline is this well-structured format or a visual representation of all the small broken down tasks with their scheduled deadlines, which is a most efficient way to complete a project. Timelines give us a clear understanding about the progression of the events or the sequence in which the events will be occurring. That is the dependence of one event into another. So when we see the objectives, planning and organization, planning is the one of the objectives here. First, we need to plan things for to get the successful output. So planning and organizing things is very easy in project timeline. We get to plan things. We need to break down the task in a very structured format, arrange it, and then follow it in order to complete the project. Then time management, we schedule each and every task with their allotted time in which it should be completed. Resource allocation, all the resources which are needed for a specific task are allocated for that specific duration in which it is needed by the use of project timeline. There are more objectives such as flexibility, accountability, communication tool, which we'll be discussing much ahead. Then seeing to the importance of project timeline, it makes the project tracking easier. We get to know how many tasks are done and how much more are to be done now. We can organize the task very efficiently by breaking it into smaller activities, and then also it improves team communication. Just now I have done this task by just myself, but we can also do it by the help of a team. So it also improves team communication when the task is distributed among various teams. They get their own tasks, their own deadlines, and their own self is accountable for those particular tasks. Better time allocations. It is a dynamic tool, so it is very flexible to allocate the time or change according to our needs. It enhances the team motivations. We are able to see the various milestone in it, so it inspires us to do better and motivates to complete towards the completion of the project. So this is the timeline which I have made for the stock trading application, which was assigned to me. So I have divided this into 2 months. So for the first week, here first we'll start with the project kickoff meeting. Here all the planning will be done. Here all the members which are going to make the project will meet. All the stakeholders will meet. They set their expectation, what needs to be done will be discussed in this meeting. Then reviewing of the project requirements will be done. What actually project resource allocation has to be done for accomplishing the required task will be done. Then setup of the development environment. In my case, I have used Java. The development environment will be set up will be for Java and Spring Boot MVC. So for this, we will go to the official website of the Java using Oracle. We'll see our respective operating system like with the Linux, Mac, or Windows. We'll download it from there. We'll see that take the correct JDK version which we require, and same goes for the Spring MVC. We'll download it, we'll see that take the controller, and finally we'll run the application. Then for the week 2, we'll design the user registration page. Designing of the page will first take place. The whole layout will be decided what needs to be put there in the user registration page. Then all the color themes will be done, which will match with the project. Then implementation of the front-end form for user registration will be done next. Here, the HTML form will be made, which will contain which will basically be the login page or the sign up page, will contain the username, ID, and then password. Then it will develop. In the week 3, we will develop the backend for the user registration. Then in the backend, we'll receive all the registration requests, which will be handled here with the help of the Spring MVC controller. Then user authentication will be set up. Then designing of, sorry ma'am. Then in the week 4, designing of the dashboard will take place. We'll again set the layout of it, whatever is needed, and then finally we'll create the sections of the dashboard. Like we'll implement whatever is needed in it, like various financial goals will be there, various charts, and then income expenses of the users will be implemented here. Then in the week 5, we'll jump into the to develop front-end data input forms. This is one of the most crucial points here. The user gets to know about the user interface. He sees the various input. He interacts with the application, and he also submits the required information which is required to be filled there. Then implementation of the controller for data submission. Here the submitted information in the previous step is validated and controlled and submitted by using the Spring controllers. In the week 6, we set up a database for data storage. That is, here we'll use MySQL for storing the validated information about the user. Then we'll do the data processing and data validation. Now, whatever user has entered will be matched with the information stored in the database so that the authentication is done. So this is validation. Then secure data storage. Whatever password or very sensitive and confidential information was stored, it will be encrypted. Then we'll implement mobile responsiveness in week 7. So mobile responsiveness is basically how this application runs on various devices, not only just one. So we are going to implement this. Then in the last week, we'll see 3 tasks: testing and fixing bugs. If there is any bugs, then we'll fix all the bugs. Then we'll create a presentation, project documentation of the same. It aids or acts as a guide for the users. Then finally, again, we'll do final testing and final bugging, so that if by chance, any bug is there, it is removed and the user gets a good experience and our project is completely ready. Then Gantt chart. Gantt chart is a part of project timeline. It is the moment we hear chart, we get to know it is something related to the picture. Our brain very nicely maps pictures into the data for a better understanding. So the abbreviation of Gantt stands for Generalized Activity Normalization Timetable. It is a popular project management tool. It is basically a horizontal bar, and all the tasks are represented by the bars, whereas the length is represented by the duration which the task takes. The y-axis represents here in the chart the task, and the x-axis the time duration taken. It is a visual description of a project timeline, and it gives much more clear understanding as we have a good as our brain has a good understanding of seeing visually things better. So talking about its feature, task, as I told, stands for the horizontal bar. Y-axis tells the task name. Length tells the duration of the task. Y-axis stands for the time taken. It depicts the visual planning. It also tells the task dependencies, what tasks need to be done first and what are to be done next. So it clearly shows the task dependencies. Resource allocations, whatever resources are required for a particular task will be there. And project tracking, we have a feature of adding milestone. If a particular phase or a particular task has been accomplished by us, we can add a milestone over there. So it adds as a sense of achievement, and it also helps in tracking the progress that this much task has been completed. Now, this is the snapshot that I have added here of my live demonstration. We'll get a better picture of it when we see it in my live demonstration. This is the snapshot of the tasks done. So let's see the live demonstration, how I have made the Gantt chart. I have used instagantt.com for making the Gantt chart. So here in the y-axis, you can see all the tasks are here. And in the x-axis, you can clearly see all the times are there and the dates of the months are given. Here I have listed all my tasks in month 1 and month 2. And here there is a column assignee. Project manager can assign various tasks to the different project members. Here, since I'm doing alone, so I have assigned my name to all the tasks. Then EH is there, which means estimated hours. Estimated hours taken to complete each and individual task is specified here. Then start date and the due date. That is the finish date of each task is shown here. Now let's see the Gantt chart. This is the Gantt chart of the first month. And this is the Gantt chart the second month. So these particular task bars, these bars represents horizontal bars. Bars are tasks. We have the also we have seen here the duration. If you see above, I have since the design and the user dashboard I have kept here from 16 to 19. So it is x-axis is showing all the timeline here. We also have an option to give the milestone. You can see convert to milestone tasks. So if anyone wants to add a milestone, if they have completed any task, so they can add a milestone also. Now let's return back to the presentation. Documentation, we'll see the documentation part so that we get the overview of whatever we have learned till now. This is the project timeline of stock trading application made by me. These are the table of content. We'll see the introduction, what is project timeline, key elements, why it is essential, objectives, importance, timeline that I have created for a stock trading application. Then Gantt charts. What is Gantt charts? Benefits, conclusion, and references. So in introduction, we have already seen project noun along with the schedule durations for the completion or wrapping up of the project. Then key elements includes the task or the activities which needs to be performed, duration in which it has to be completed, dependencies, that is the relationship between various tasks, then milestones, the completion point of our overall project, gives the milestones, start and end dates are there of each task, then resources, whatever material, whatever people, or even whatever budget is required comes under the resources of the project, which is specified in project timeline. Then Gantt chart. Gantt chart is a common way to visualize project timeline. It is a horizontal bar chart. It has in y-axis it has task, and in x-axis various time durations. It provides an easy to understand overview of the whole project schedule. So why is it essential? Project timeline is essential because it gives a thorough planning and organization, and hence we are able to efficiently smoothly move in our project. Then task sequencing. along with dependencies management, what tasks need to be done first and what next. Then resource management, what resources are needed for which task and for what duration. Risk identification, whatever unforeseen challenges are faced can be mitigated with the help of project timelines. Then progress tracking, as we have milestones, so we can get to know how much task is done, and if we can also identify any delay which is occurring. Then it is a communication tool. It serves as a communication tool, which is very easy to understand for both stakeholders as well as the project team. Accountability, it also distributes various tasks between the members, and it tells who has to do task, what has to be done, and in what time it has to be done. Now objectives, same planning, time management, it tells us, it helps in resource allocation and critical path, risk mitigation, monitoring and tracking progresses. In importance, it gives everybody a high level view of the projects. So when we hear of the project as a whole huge thing, we don't get to know much about it. We don't get a broader view of it. It is just a superficial diving into the project. So once we zoom in the project timeline, we get to know each and small detail about it. So we get a high level view of the whole project. Then we can efficiently manage the resources. Since we have broken down the task into small activities, it becomes more manageable, and we are able to keep the projects on track. Communication and engagement becomes good, and we get a good collaborative environment for ensuring the easy delivery of a project. Then successful delivery, after following all these steps, after adhering to the project timeline, it is mostly likely that projects are going to be a good, grand success within the time frame, within the budget, and within the scope. In the timeline, for the week one, first kickoff meeting will be there. The planning will be done, what needs to be done, what expectations are there for this project. Then reviewing the project requirements will be done. Then whatever requirements are there, it is very critical phase, as we need to have a clear understanding what we require for making this particular project. Then setup of this environment, we'll set up the development environment, in my case, like Java and Spring MVC. We'll download it from the download page, official website of Oracle JDK. Then same for the Spring MVC. We'll take a new project, configure dependencies like Maven, Gradle, create different settings, and set up a controller, run the application. Then for the week two, designing will take place, designing of the user registration page, what needs to be put in the registration, what is essential, how the layout will go, what color patterns will be used that aligns with the project theme. These will be decided. Then implementation of the user registration will be done. That is, we'll create a HTML form with user input such as password, username, email ID. Then in week 3 we'll develop backend for the user registration. That is, it is going to handle all the registration requests with the help of Spring MVC controller. Then user authentication setup will be done. Spring security framework can be used here for both authentication purpose as well as authorization purpose. Then in week 4, we'll see the design of the user dashboard. When we are collaborating or we are doing in a team, we can collaborate with user interface designers. The designers will design the user dashboards. Then whole structure will be laid and the layout will be there, how the dashboard should be there, what important elements should be included in it. Then finally, once we have decided the design, then we'll create the design. Whatever sections like income, expenses, financial goals, whatever charts you want to add, whatever the bar charts, Gantt charts about the particular stocks, showing we want to show the trend of it, whatever we need to add, we'll create it in a dashboard. Then in week 5, we'll develop a front-end data input form. Now, this is one of the most crucial part. Here, we get to know about the user interface. Here, the user sees the input. He interacts with the application and submits his information here, which is next managed by implementing the backend controller for data submission. Here, backend controllers will manage all the information which will be submitted by the users in the input forms. It is going to manage it. Now, data integrity and security are emphasized here. In week 6, we'll set up the database, that is MySQL, to store the information. of the users, so that in the next data processing and validation part, we can use the database information as well as the information which the user is entering for validating it and matching it, so that form becomes accurate, remains consistent, and meets the predefined criteria. So this involves mainly validating user inputs. Then week 7, secure data storage. So here we are going to secure protect the very sensitive and confidential information like the password of the user which was there. Various encryption methods will be used for the same. Then we'll implement the mobile responsiveness, CSS and responsive design techniques will be employed, so that this application functions across various devices, not only in just one. Then in week 8, testing and quality assurance will be there. Whatever bugs are there, it will be fixed here. Test of quality assurance will be done, so that user gets a quality product and enjoys its experience. Then we'll create a project documentation. Like this is the project documentation I have made for user, which acts as a guide for them. It gives each and every minute detail of the project timeline. Then final testing and bug fixing. So final testing and bug fixing will be done. And after this, the project will be considered completely ready for the user. Now Gantt charts. Gantt charts, as I told, is a horizontal bar chart. It was developed by Henry L. Gantt, American engineer. Now Gantt chart is a project management tool which assists in planning and scheduling all the projects. The horizontal bar represents the task, and all the length of those bars represent the duration in which it is completed. Then we see the benefits. It allows better tracking. We can see the high level overview of it. It boosts productivity. Gantt chart enables the workers to collaborate and increase productivity. We get to understand more nicely when we see visual things. So when we see Gantt chart, we understand better rather than just seeing a project timeline in a series or a sequence of tasks. Then it illustrates the overlaps and dependencies. We see what tasks need to be done in what manner. Then manages the complex information, balances the multiple projects. Then sets realistic deadline expectations. What is offer, what needs to be accomplished. Then it motivates the team members as it. Here also I've added the snapshots of the Gantt chart that I have made. This is the task list. Individual Gantt charts of month 1, month 2. Then conclusion. First we'll see the conclusion in our presentation. And then references. So in conclusion, we can say that project timeline is a very crucial tool in project management system. It serves or it encapsulates the whole project time life cycle, right from planning, then executing it, and then monitoring it. Through project timeline, we are able to break tasks, we are able to schedule it, we are able to write the milestones, we are able to allocate the various resources and achieve ultimate goals which are needed in our project. The one thing to remember is not only meticulous planning is required for success of a project, but also the need or the ability of a project that it is able to navigate through unprecedented challenges. Now here comes the play of project timeline. Project timeline assists us in risk management also. It helps us to face the various potential risks and to act accordingly and take various measures. So to sum up, I will say that project timeline is a tool which helps us in the journey right from project initiation to its completion. These are the references. I have given the references separately of the Gantt chart, project timeline, and Instagram. You can refer to it if you want to learn about it. Then if anyone has any queries, please ask. I have mentioned my email ID at the bottom of the slide. You can also mail me. Thank you.
PALAK, you're done.
Yes, ma'am.
It was a great presentation. So everything was explained very amazingly. Data was up to the point, and you have explained so thoroughly, so researchfully. It was really nice.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
All right, I will give your feedback on your mail. Okay.
Ma'am, one thing I want to ask, like, ma'am, a task which I have got, so, ma'am, it is written to submit a video of it. So, ma'am, for that task, I just need to submit a video. I will not have to schedule a presentation then.
Okay, what you can do is on the HDFCBANK channel, there is an intern named as Shivani, so you can take her as a reference to make the video presentation. Okay, once you submit your
sorry,
video,
sorry, ma'am.
Shubhi Varanasi, SHUBHI. You
Yes,
can
ma'am.
see her video presentation and you have to submit in that way. Once you completed your presentation, once you will
Yes.
give your have your feedback, we will update your presentation title in our database. You need not to schedule it again and again.
Okay, ma'am. So just we have to submit the video there. No need to schedule the presentation like I have been here
No,
today.
you just
Okay, ma'am.
complete the presentation and then submit the video.
And submit the video. Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Shivani, you can start. Shivani,
Yes, ma'am.
you can start.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, my screen is visible.
Yeah, it's visible, but you are not visible.
Okay. Ma'am, now am I visible? Hello. Ma'am, now I am visible.
Yeah, you are visible.
Okay. So, a very good evening, ma'am. My name is Shivani Gupta. I am from Web Development domain, and the task that was assigned me is to give an overview on project synopsis on real-time stock market data web application. So let's go with this. Here's the table of contents which I discussed. First is introduction, then key features, then technology stack, workflow, and the challenges which we are facing, then documentation which I made for this, and wrap up with conclusion. So here's the introduction. So before going to introduction part, I will discuss the what is the stock market. So stock market is a platform where buyers and sellers trade their stocks of the companies. Here are the multiple companies which shares their trades publicly. So it provides a marketplace where company raise their capital income by providing stocks, and buyers and investors can invest in these stocks. Just like we go in market and buy and say buy something in our daily life. Then comes the next point. It is stock market data. So stock market data is the information related to stocks, just like it gives the information or performance of the stocks, like stock prices, what are the current prices and the trading volumes of current stocks. With the help of this, an investor can invest in this to get the better understanding of the current stock prices. So with the help of this, investor can invest in this and invest this in analyze market. So now comes the real-time stock market data web application. So it is a full stack web application that allow investor to track the real-time stock market data in easy to understand format. This is a tool which provide investor a trade and financial analyst to stay informed about the latest market trends and make the decision according to it. Now comes the key features. The key features of this web application is real-time stock market data. So this application provide and displays the real-time stock prices as well as the trading volumes, and also provide the user authentication and security, because these investments and these are the matter of money, so every users and investor get the secure environment. So this is the main features that user wants, that it is a authentication, it gives authentication and a secure environment for this. And next is easy to understand format. So if the application should be easy to handle and flexible for user, so user can invest easily in this. So, and next is responsive design. If the application is responsive, means user can means we have to develop a web application which is user friendly and responsive, so that user can use it in various devices, whether it is laptop, mobile phones, or in a desktop. So these are the features. The next is technology stack. So for the technology, we use the front end. In front end, we use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React.js. And for backend, Node.js and Express.js. And for APIs, we use Alpha Vantage API and News API. And database, we use MongoDB. So here we discuss one by one. For front end, we use HTML. So HTML is the backbone of our application, which provide the structure and content. And then next is we use CSS. CSS is responsible for styling and enhances the user interface. It gives a beauty to our application. Then we use JavaScript. JavaScript, nothing a scripting language, which is used for implementing the dynamic feature in our application. Then we use a React, which is a JavaScript library for building the modular user interface. So this is all about front end. The next is backend. For backend, we use Node.js. Node.js is an open source and cross-platform. It is a runtime environment for developing server-side networking. With the help of this, we can connect with the server, and its feature is event-driven. Means if one event is occurred, then it passes to the next event. It doesn't depend on the previous event, and it is fast data streaming and single-threaded and package ecosystem. The next is we use Express.js. Express.js is a flexible Node.js framework which is robust and scalable for the APIs which we use. So with the help of Express.js, we can easily communicate with the APIs, and its feature is routing and middleware and the template engine and the integration. Then move to forward. We use APIs. APIs stand for Application Programming Interface. Uh, it is the interface just like a bridge which connects the 2 points. So APIs is just like a bridge. With the help of this, we can connect and interact with the two APIs and communicate with these. So in this, we use Alpha Vantage APIs, which gives the real-time data, because we are using and developing web application, stock market web application. So in this, we have to provide a real-time data. With the help of this, user can invest easily in the current market prices, so that user can interact. So and it also gives flexible APIs and time series analysis. Another API is News APIs. News API is for real-time news. It gives the current news articles related to the stocks and markets trends, which is now on the peak and trends. Now the second is data visualization. For the data visualization in our application, we use Chart.js and D3. D3.js is data-driven documents. With the help of this, we can visualize and show our data in a format of chart or in a graph format. Then we use real-time for real-time communication. We use WebSockets and Socket.io. WebSocket is used for live chat. If user or investor have any doubt, so he and she can ask, and and give and they provide, or they have the knowledge about the current issues. And for the deployment, we use 000 web host, which is a free web hosting tool. Then coming in the working, this is the general workflow of our web application. First, user access the web UI. Then, if then he make a GET request. Then request is sent to the web server. Then web server directly, if there is no storage, then it directly interact and download the data from the internet, or they can also use the local server. Then the server gives the latest prices and send back request to the web server. Then a JSON response is generated, and the response is generated and sent to the web UI, and the user can view it in the render pages. Here's the steps. First, a user have to log in. So this is the first step. User start by logging into application using their name or by a password. Then after the successful login, user granted the features of these application. Then verification is done. Then account verification helps to ensure that provide a valid contact information that reduces the risk of fraudulent in the futures. Then user have choice of stock selections. After the verification, user can select the stocks and financial instrument they want to track or analyze. Then data processing. After the choosing the required data and stocks or the final instruments of their interest, the application needs to fetch the required data from the relevant data. Then the visualize whatever the stocks user choose, they can display in the user friendly format, in the chart format or a graph format. Here's the challenges. So the main challenges of this project will be pull real-time stock market data, because this is the uh, stock market, and user have to spend money in this. So must have user want that this is a secure environment to get the secure environment. So it wants the current time and current prices of the stock, so he or she can invest in this, and also want the easy to understand format so that it can understand easily. Then another challenge will be implement user authentication. The user want a secure environment for their data and the financial data. Then here's the documentation. I will show the documentation. Here's the documentation of real-time stock market data, overview of the project synopsis. Here's the table of contents, introduction, objective, key features, technology working of applications, challenges, and conclusions. Here's the introduction parts. Introduction part gives the introduction about our web application on, and objective gives the what are the main objective we uh, take for deploying these web application. So objective with these. Then the key features which we are discussed in presentation: real time stock market data, and it also provide user authentication, easy to understand format, and responsive design. Then here's the technology which we already discussed: front end, for front end HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React.js, and for backend Node.js and Express.js. And for database we use MongoDB, and APIs we use Alpha Vantage and News APIs. Here's the flow of working. First is logging, then verification of the account, then stock selection, data processing, and visualize data. And here's the challenges which we already discussed. And here's the conclusion part. So let's back to the presentation. So this is a uh, essential tool for investors who want to track their investment in real time. And this application will provide an easy to understand format that displays stock market data and other essential information to investors. And this is a web application will be the web application will be developed using modern web technology, so user can have knowledge about these and have the access of this. And these are the reference which I use for making these for MongoDB, and for this stocks I use this application. If you have any questions, you can ask or mail me. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Shivani, you're done.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good presentation. You can surely work on that so that you can improve.
Hello, ma'am.
Sorry? Are you saying something?
Ma'am, your voice is not clear.
Am I audible to you now? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
I was saying you can improve a lot in further presentation. So it was a nice presentation.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So
ma'am.
you can stop sharing your screen. I will give your feedback on your mail.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.